Welcome back to another video, guys, brought to you by your one and only Literary Pharaoh. My question is to you guys. I want to pose a question: Why do we as a people, why do we get stimulated by information that we receive from mainstream media? Haven't we come or arrived at an understanding that mainstream media lies to us and they tell us certain things to get an impulsive reaction from us? You know, people talking about Trump is going to do this, Trump is going to do that, and you have a bunch of people just reacting like lights that come on and roaches scatter. That's the way we behave when we receive information from mainstream media. I know you guys have heard about the news about the helicopter and airplane crash. Do you guys really think that was an accident? I know the way the mainstream media is putting forth the message is as if it's an accident. 9/11 was also made to be something that it wasn't. Most catastrophic events. Okay, I want you guys to get a clear understanding of what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. Do not believe anything that you hear and believe half of what you see. We are living in an artificial reality, and you say, what does that mean? Well, we have artificial intelligence that seems to be taking over, right? We have an artificial environment that's bombarded with chemicals from jet engines that are spraying all sorts of chemicals on us. We have artificial foods that are not really foods, they're ultra processed foods. We have spirituality that's not really spirituality. It's really just indoctrination by mass miseducation and more lies. We have news that's purported to give you facts, but it gives you lies. Can't you see where I'm going with this? Everything is backwards. That's artificial. That's not real. So I want you guys to get a clear picture in your minds and heads. When you're given information from the news, it's your job to unscramble the chaos from the information that you're given. See, the information is always going to be provided to you in a nice package, and they're going to give it to you, and it's easily digested by the masses because you don't have to think. Well, this man over here is going to think, and I'm going to teach my kids to do the same thing. And more people are coming to the realization that something does not add up. And when something doesn't add up, it's because it doesn't add up. It doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist. It doesn't make you a tinfoil hat wearing person that's crazy. As a matter of fact, the only people that are crazy are the people that continue to give you false information every day and rely on your ignorance to continue to concede to the messages they're giving you. They're the ones that are crazy because they continue to insult our intelligence. Every time they give us news, wrapped up in falsities. That's what they do. And we take it. You have a bunch of Hispanics afraid that they're going to get deported because of what Trump's going to do. Just act normal. Don't respond. When people talk about COVID, people were just running crazy because of COVID. Just be normal. Be you. Be still. You know, there are a lot of things that you can glean from things that are packed as being truth, even though they're a myth. There's morals to stories. A lot of the biblical narratives are stories that are taken from old ancient texts. And when it tells you to be still, to know that I am God, you are God, be still. Peace comes to those who sit still, who have a mind that's dipped in the goo of logistics and logic. They don't want us to think. They want us to be reactive. They want us to respond and adhere to their systems that they've already set in place. This is incredible, folks. We respond too quickly. We react too quickly. Our emotions are hijacked. Our energy is hijacked by information. We're being inundated with so much information. And the information is strategically put here to divide us. It's hard to come to a realization to where we can actually identify our common enemy, because we are our own enemies. We are our own enemies because we are divided as a people. Divided. We have to start asking ourselves questions. How can an experienced pilot just crash like that? I mean, somebody wanted to die. Somebody wanted to die. And who knows why? No one will ever know the full story. Did somebody in the, flying, did somebody know something that they weren't supposed to know? Was this a homicide that's masked as an accident? Is this? I mean, there are many questions that can come forth from lies, because when you're not given the truth, you start to come up with so many other possibilities, and that's not man's fault for doing that. You can't blame me and call me a conspiracy theorist because I'm trying to think outside of the framework of what they're providing me. You can't get mad at me for doing that. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a thinking individual. I implore you to do the same thing, but many of you guys don't do that, because it's much easier just to say, oh, it's whatever. Now, I'd rather you be indifferent to the information that you're receiving. What do I mean by indifferent? Meaning that I'm okay with people who don't give a damn about current events, but don't concede to the information that you're getting and go around spouting out, oh, did you hear what they said in the news? Oh, did you hear what happened? Oh, did you hear what this person said? Or did you hear what Trump is going to do? Or did you hear what Biden is going to do? Did you hear what Obama is going to do? Like, when you get to that point, when your life actions are predicated upon the information that you're receiving from mainstream media, when you get to that point, then that's where I have a problem, because you are responding to falsities. Like, your trajectory and the base, the pivot point from where you're launching your actions from, are coming from a false premise. So I've said this before, everything else that you put forth is going to be off kilter. You're never going to be in balance. You're going to be imbalanced. All right? You're not going to have balance. You're going to be imbalanced. But for the guy across the street who's just like, oh, I didn't know this was going on. Oh, I didn't know. I like that person too, because that person hasn't given their energy in motion, which is what emotion is. They haven't given their energy that's in motion to falsities. They're using their energy, they're utilizing their energy, and they're putting it into things that matter. They're putting it into things that matter. They're being self-absorbed, all right? They're being selfish. They're being self-centered. And they don't give a damn what's going on in the White House. And they don't care about current events. They don't care about wars. They don't care about the rumors of a World War III. All of these things are just means by which the mainstream media uses to control our minds. It's psychological warfare. Even Black History Month, in a sense, is psychological warfare, because it keeps the melanated person in a state of stagnation where you don't see growth. You become stale in your evolution, in your psychological evolution. You don't develop. And if you do develop, you develop on their dime. You develop on their, in their and on their system. Black History Month every year. Oh, look at what you've been through. They acknowledge a couple of melanated people that have done this and done that. We don't need a Black History Month. As a matter of fact, no one's black and no one's white. No one's red. Like, no one's a full color. You either have melanin or you don't. You either are pale skin or you're not. There's only two different kind of skin tones. Now you have variants. You have variants on the spectrum of melanated. You have some that have darker pigmentation. My beard is black, but my skin's not black. So people, stop calling yourselves black. You're not black. Black means death. Black means non-existent. All right. So when they say Black History Month, you don't. It's a play on words. It's you don't exist History Month, and you idiots go out there Black History Month. I went to pick up my son from school the other day. They had all these pictures of melanated people like Obama, Oprah Winfrey. They had all these, melanated people who they call black, who've done things. And I'm looking at like, really, like, we don't need that. We don't need some token form of appreciation. Like, we are who we are. We don't need you guys to acknowledge us. The cosmos acknowledges us. The sun acknowledges us. Nature acknowledges us. The high degree of melanin in our brain acknowledges us. Our carbon nature acknowledges us. We don't need to be acknowledged by the system that oppresses us. And they oppress us because they dictate what's allowed. They dictate what we can talk about. I'm freaking sick and tired of Martin Luther King. He was a plant anyway. Obama was a plant as well. See, as you get older, you see that Obama's face. Like, oh, he was our first black president. The guy is well, anyway, no one's going to do their homework on that guy. I go on and on. If I tell you the things the truths about him, you won't believe it, but I'm not going to say anything because so many people worship him. He's our first black president. He was also our first. And his wife is not those aren't rumors, folks. When people tell you things and it sounds crazy, and if you don't want to believe it and you just want to say, oh no, she's really a woman, she's not a man. If people are saying that, it's just up to you just to look into it, consider it. You can't dismiss the experience of other people. You can't experience the lens from which others are looking through and think that your lens is the only lens that exists. Now, it doesn't mean you have to agree or believe it, but don't give a half-assed effort or a half-hearted effort into seeking why people are saying those things about Obama's husband, or Obama's wife. That's a husband. Obama's wife, yeah. All those people are jokes. The real heroes would never be, the real melanated heroes would never be publicized. You're never going to know, because if the system provides a melanated person for us to adorn and honor, you better believe that melanated person was part of the system that they used to psychologically influence us in ways that was and is to our detriment. You think that Martin Luther King was some person that was special? No, he was a CIA plant. He was pushed by the Rockefellers. And probably later on in his life, before he was assassinated, allegedly. I say allegedly because I can't believe everything that I hear. He started to kind of wake up, and perhaps that's why he was taken out. When I say wake up, he started to want to push back against what he was being told to do. See, once you make a deal with the devil, he does come to collect, because the moment you get clarity and you want to change and you want to pivot from the initial move that you had, it's time to pay. It's blood in, blood out. There's sacrifices to be made. If you want to continue to live and have these luxuries, you better continue the narrative and continue the push of what we want. We have ulterior motives with you being the token black Negro to speak this we shall overcome BS. We like the way you're causing our people, the melanated people, to be docile. You're going to be the hero that we give them. But the minute that hero begins to want to see things in a different way, and that alleged hero wants to change, and that hero now becomes a villain in the eyes of those who put him there to be a hero. So in actuality, Martin Luther King was actually a villain to us. But you guys won't see it that way, because everything's inverted. Like I told you, we live in an artificial reality. Hitler is not the villain you think he is. Do your real research, guys. Do not stop listening to what mainstream media tells you. Stop listening to what's in those history books. They're lies. They've been lying to us since the beginning. Do you know that George Washington was really not our first president? So what's this guy talking about? You don't have to believe me. Do research. I'm not your research. A guy on YouTube is not your research. I'm just putting things in your head to cause you to ponder and to increase your degree of skepticism toward things that you're receiving from mainstream media. That's my agenda. My agenda is to cause you to ask questions. Don't believe anything that you hear. Believe half of what you see. Period. All right, thank you, guys. I'm just now getting to work. Had a crazy morning this morning. All right, peace out. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think. Till next time. And remember, your health is your wealth.